Hi everyone, this is Peter. Today I want to introduce is the C100 Mark II from Canon. So a lot of people want to know about what's the difference in between the C100 Mark I and also the Mark II. So let's talk about the outlook first. First, you will find out, there is actually maybe a big difference in between the viewfinder, because now this viewfinder is the same quality as the C300 and the C500. Now, so in the bright sunlight, you can use the viewfinder to do all the shots, which is fantastic, because for the Mark I, you only have the screen and then without a hood, and then you almost cannot see anything in the bright sunlight. So now you got this, which is fantastic. And then I think this is the great improvement in between the Mark I and Mark II. The other thing is, now they come with a very nice OLED monitor, and now the camera, the monitor, the screen can actually just maybe fold at the side of the camera. So it is actually good, because when I doing maybe a shoot here, and then probably I can just do all the setting here rather than maybe I want to do it here. So maybe it's actually more kind of maybe user friendly. But the only downside is you have maybe if you always want to set maybe something up maybe on the side of your camera, you might have to open it and close. But it is very symptoms when you really maybe need to do this. And the other downside is when you flip the monitor back into here, so all the buttons is actually just upside down. But this is also a minor issues. I don't think that is a big deal for you to just stop by this camera if this is the case. So other than that, the other minor thing is all the recording buttons now is in red color. So before that is a black color, but so who's care? And then the other thing is, this camera now is actually built in the dual AF. So for the C100 Mark I, and then you still have to think about whether you want to buy the original one, which is without the AF, or maybe you want to buy AF. For sure, when you buy the original without AF, you can still go to the Canon repair center, pay the money, and then upgrade into dual AF. But now this one is actually built in dual AF. So all the Canon L lenses is probably support the autofocus function, which is I think is fantastic, because this camera for me is always good for maybe a run and gun handheld situation, for news or a lot of situations. And then if you maybe are not capable to maybe to do a lot of maybe focus all the time, and then so set it, maybe switch it into AF. And so that probably the outlook in between, there be a difference in between each other. So let's talk about one more thing. They are now built in a mic, internal mic on the camera. So that means when you put this camera without a handle onto a jib, probably you can record some audios rather than you have to put on maybe a mic and then maybe plug the mic into in the mini jack connectors, because sometimes you might don't have this kind of maybe a small mic. So now they have already built in. This is also good for you too. And so let's talk about the menu. So the menu is probably the same as before. There is a few difference in between each other. First is the recording format. Now you can support MPEG-4, and also you can support AVC-HD. So that means you can get maybe two different choices. AVC-HD is actually slightly less compressed, but they are both maybe 420. So that's why. And then, but at least you can have a choice. And the other thing is, if you are using a picture profile, set it into a Canon lock. Now the HDMI can actually give up the to show the lookup table. And then the lookup table, you can choose whether maybe the standard 709, 800%, or maybe the wide dial range. So that means you are not going to show the grainy, the under shots, and then to the director through your HDMI. So now you can actually set up maybe a normal picture, which the director will feel more happy about that. If they are not technical enough to know, you are shooting raw, so that's why it's down. And then But the only downside for me is hopefully in future they have more, when they do the firmware upgrade, they put more picture profile in it, or maybe even I can set my own picture profile. But I don't think maybe that will be happen on the C100 Mark I. Maybe they will put it onto the C300 or maybe new C500 hopefully. And then, yeah, it's good to have like this function too. And the other big difference in between the 1 and Mark II is the Wi-Fi. So you will think about Wi-Fi, okay, so what a big deal. And then you will, okay, the difference in between is when you're doing a shoot outside, and then maybe you got a Wi-Fi functions, and then you can actually send the shot immediately on locations through to your FTP. So that means maybe your colleagues in somewhere, or maybe in your office, or maybe even like out of the country, they can actually pick up the shots and then to edit it, and then just like maybe send it out as like a breakout news or something else, which is fantastic because like maybe sometimes you don't have the time for you to just pull the card out and then maybe put onto the computer and then just like drag the shot and then just dump it out maybe into a FTP. So now all inside you can put it, you can set it up and send it out through the computer, the camera itself. So I think this is actually fantastic for some people. So other than that, most of the functions, which is actually the people will be like so much. For example, like maybe the dual SDI slot, and also the lightweight functions, and then it's all still keep onto this camera. So I think maybe if you are looking for maybe a new camera, or maybe upgrade your new camera from DSLR to want to do a C series, and then you don't have like a lot of budget, and then maybe this will be a good camera for you to start, and then to a more serious video maybe operations.